sense of responsibility and desire to provide every protection to UK citizens. This is a desire that we equally share. But I think it is somewhat premature to make declarations related to what might or might not have happened to the aircraft before the investigation is completed and before there is a definitive cause for this crash.
Mr. Foreign Minister, the President, in an interview with the BBC, basically dismissed any notion that there was evidence or even the possibility of a terrorist attempt on this plane. Do you believe now that there may possibly be and that the British should be taking these steps pending an investigation, and they are sending a special team to your country to conduct further investigations?
From the outset, we've always maintained that this is a matter for the investigation to clarify, and we should not prejudge or take any measures that might have implications. The implications also that affect a very large number of Egyptians who rely heavily on the tourist industry. I think in all concerns should display caution and have a tempered approach, while at the same time we are cognizant of the interest and the concern and have provided additional security arrangements in all of our airports for the protection of our tourists, and also to indicate that we are not sparing any efforts, but that does not in any way imply one outcome or another. This is just a matter of providing assurance and confidence to the tourist community that Egypt is undertaking all that it can to provide the assurance to the tourists in the country.
And just briefly, obviously your investigators, the investigative team there, have started to analyze what they can from the flight recorders, the so-called black boxes. Can you tell us, do you know anything, any news of what has already been discovered from those devices?
Not at all, except that the investigation is being conducted at a high technical level with the participation of the Russian Federation, the Irish, the French, those concerned with the manufacture of the airplane. So every availability is provided by the Egyptian government for a full and thorough investigation. And as soon as there is an outcome, it will be public.
And lastly, Foreign Minister, can you confirm to us that President Sisi has in fact arrived and will be having his meetings with the Prime Minister starting tomorrow morning?
The President has arrived, has already conducted 3 meetings here with various UK companies, and is tomorrow to meet Prime Minister Cameron.
Well, we thank you very much, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, and we look forward to talking to you more, hopefully, over the next 24 hours as these developments warrant. Thank you for joining us. And as President Sisi, we've heard, has just arrived and is already conducting his meetings, there have, as you know, been several violent incidents, and his government always insisted that tourism is still safe. So he is potentially likely to have an awkward meeting with Prime Minister Cameron after this decision tonight. Joining us is, right here live in the studio to discuss this and other foreign policy challenges, Ambassador Sir Peter Westmacott. He's the envoy to Washington and before that to a host of Middle East nations. Ambassador, welcome.
Thank you, Christiane.
You just heard what the Foreign Minister said, that they're disappointed and surprised by this, particularly since the investigation has not been complete. From the British government point of view, is this a hasty decision or is this prudent?
I think the number 10 statement speaks for itself. We don't take these decisions lightly, as you know. And the reality is that the 2 biggest groups of tourists in Sharm el-Sheikh tend to be Russians and British. There are a lot of people there. The government has a duty of care to British subjects. And if we put out a statement which says that we fear that it may well have been brought down by an explosive device, you know, we have said that because we have reason to fear that may be the case. It's not a premature, it's not a hasty judgment. We haven't said this is what happened. We don't know for sure. Investigations are continuing. We look forward, of course, to hearing the results of the investigation of the black box. We're very conscious of the importance of Egypt's tourist industry. We're delighted that President Sisi is here in town, and the Prime Minister and he will obviously have some very important discussions tomorrow. But please don't think that this is a decision taken lightly. It's because of the concern that we have and the responsibility we have for the safety of British tourists.
900,000 or so British tourists go to Egypt every single year, so it is not an insignificant number, as you said. Is this meeting tomorrow bound to be an awkward meeting? You've obviously been in many meetings between heads of government, certainly as an ambassador. How do you think it's going to go?
Well, I can't predict, I haven't got a crystal ball, but these meetings are always important. There are always important issues to discuss. Some of them are easier than others. We're glad that the President has come to London. There's a lot of things which we need to discuss, some easy, some difficult. But when you have a terrible loss of life like this, and if there is a suggestion that there might be some kind of terrorist act or some explosive device, then of course the heads of government concerned have got to examine that, along with all the other issues which are important to both Egypt and the United Kingdom.
Let's talk about the specifics, and many have looked at this crash in the framework of intervention in Syria, Russia's recent intervention in Syria. To that end, we want to know whether you can confirm for us whether Prime Minister Cameron has abandoned his second attempt to take a vote and consult with Parliament on actually joining the airstrikes against ISIS in Syria. Has he abandoned that, as the press have said?
On that particular issue, Christiane, no. Number 10 were very clear.